This is the major arcana of the Morgan-Greer tarot deck. There are many tarot decks, and no tarot deck is any better than any other tarot deck. The Rider-Waite deck is the standard deck. This is the Morgan-Greer tarot deck, and this is the major arcana that you're looking at. And Morgan-Greer Greer studied under Morgan. Morgan was the mentor, and this deck was designed with the use of color to elicit an emotional, intuitive response for the reader. And that was the philosophy behind this particular deck. The major arcana is also called the Fool's Journey, and it goes from card number 0 through card number 21, or the World, and it's each steps. These are archetypal steps. These are pictorial representation of archetypes, pictorially represented. These are referred to also as the trumps. The major arcana is divided into 3 septenaries that correspond to the Kabbalist tree of life. The first septenary goes from the Magician through to the Chariot, card 1 through 7. The second septenary goes through Strength card, card 8, through card 14, or Temperance. And the third septenary goes from card 15, or the Devil, through card 21, or the World. It's 0 relative. There are, in other words, it goes from 0, the Fool, the Fool's Journey, through card number 21. That's 22 cards, and 22 is a master number. The tarot deck is divided in parts. One part is the major arcana, and the rest of the deck is called the lesser arcana. Also, there are 3 parts to consider. You have the major arcana, then you have the court cards, which are the king, the queen, the page, and the knight, and you have the rest of the cards would be called the pips. So you have the trumps, the court cards, and the pips. In the major arcana, there's one other point before we get into the meaning of all the cards here, is you have the lesser trumps, which are card 1 through 5, which is the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, and the Hierophant. And then you have the greater trumps. This is just terminology. That is the Wayshower, or the Star, which is number 17, the Moon, the Sun, the Judgment, and the World. So those are the greater trumps. Let's talk about the meaning of each, and keeping in mind that this is what I was taught, and different decks will have different meanings, and even within the Morgan-Greer deck, you will find that different readers have different interpretations for each card, and all of them are valid. I've had readers that completely disagree with how I interpret cards, and yet we're both able to give valid readings. So if you have other interpretations, feel free to put them in the comments. I'd love to learn, and I also want to share what I've learned. Okay, let's get closer so we could talk about each of these cards. The card 0 is called the Fool, and this is an innocent person ready to walk off the cliff, has no fear, even though the warning signs are going and the dog is ready to bite his shoe and howl. This is just total faith, total faith. And the number is important. You see, it's got a number 0. I'll come into that so you could see 0. That's the number 0. Okay, that's very important because that's the beginning. And this is a circle. The circle begins where it ends. So there really is no beginning and end, but this is the beginning of a journey. All right, the Magician, card number 1. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, the Magician in a reading would mean pat hand. This is manifested. He's a manifester. The lily teaches. When you see a lily, he's a teacher, or she's a teacher. It's got really no. It's not masculine or feminine. It's got all the elements on the table. So you see, you've got the money element, that's earth. You've got the cup, that is the water element. You've got the sword, that's the air element, and you've got the rod, that's the fire element. So all four elements are combined together in a synergistic way, and you see his baton is pointing to the heaven and pointing to the earth. He's able to bring things out of the ethers. And it doesn't show up so well here, but right above his head is the infinity sign, and that sign means he's a manifester of the infinite, bringing from the ethers that which we have created in our thoughts to manifestation or form. He's also an illusionist. The next card is card number 2, and this is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a determined woman. She has a scroll of knowledge in her lap. You can see that right here. That's a scroll. See how she's holding a scroll? That's knowledge. Some interpretations would say that's the Torah or the Tarot. She has the knowledge. She is a high learned person. Now, if you notice on one side of the card, I'm going to point with a candle because I don't have a pointer, but this is a dark pillar, and over here is a light pillar. These are the pillars of the Temple of Solomon. They have a name, Boaz and Jachin, Jachin. And this is the dark pillar. So when the reading, depending upon how the cards fall in the reading, this is the darker aspect or the shadow aspect of the reading, and this would be where the light is cast or the more positive aspect of the reading. Let's move on to card number 3, the Empress, and here you see a woman who's pregnant. She's also got her foot on the moon. Now you see how the High Priestess has 2 feet on the moon? She's pulling down all the illusions. You can't put anything past this person. This one has just 1 foot down on the moon. So she's able to break through illusion, and you can't really put much by her, but she's got a softer, gentler way. She's well shielded. You can see the shield here. She is well educated. You see the lily. And the water in the background means that she's been hurt. Water's emotion. She's been hurt in the past, but now she shields herself. So she's learned from her lessons, and yet she's able to bring things to fruition. She's gentle, educated, and pregnant, very creative, and doesn't really put up with much, can see through the illusion. This one you can't put anything by. She sees it all. This one you might be able to sneak some things by, but not a whole lot. Okay, the Emperor, card number 4. And if you look at the colors here, you can see a lot of fire energy in this card. And that would be like the reds and the yellows. There's a lot of fire energy here, so a lot of passion, but also a lot of air, because you could see the eagle right here on his crown. I'll zoom in. See the eagle? That's an air sign here, representing that he can think. This guy knows what's going on. Kind of a father figure, like you see how she's pregnant here, the Empress? Well, here we have kind of a father figure. These are archetypal energies. Also, you see the eagle here as well, and that eagle is flies in the air. But yet the eagle has a golden color, which is a fire color, so the air fans the fire. This guy has passion and keeps on going. This is a lot of freedom in this card, and a lot of superior freedom. He's a ruler. The Emperor is a ruler. You could see that by the staff he's holding. And also, he's able to ground his thoughts because, see the sword? Sword is air. He's able to ground his thoughts. So this is someone who's well grounded in thought. Okay, we're going to move on, and the last card we'll talk about in this video is called the Hierophant, and that's card number 5. This will complete the lesser trumps. This is a religious influence. He's kind of like a pope. He's, somebody who's up there, religious influence, spiritual influence. And you can see the 2 keys here. There's a blue key and a yellow key. The golden key is the opportunity. The blue key is the sorrow. So this is a choice to be made. Choose the blue key, and it's sorrow. Choose the golden key, it's opportunity. We're going to run out of time. We'll do more. This completes the lesser trumps of the major arcana of the Morgan-Greer deck.